Hello, everybody. I am here doing an interview with Diabolical Angel. Would you all care to say hi and tell me a little bit about yourselves?
Hi, I'm Aiden,
Yeah.
and I am
Hello.
the. Oh, sorry. Hi,
No, it's
my
fine,
name's
man.
Aiden. Hi, my name's Aiden. I'm the bassist. Uh, I do the mixing as well. I just enjoy being in the band.
Hello. My name is Sean. I'm pretty much the lead vocalist and singer for the band. And yeah, this is kind of me.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jamie and I'm the drummer.
And I am Dylan, your interviewer, and not the rhythm guitarist. Not at all. And yeah, so first off, I wanted to start off with a few questions, such as how are you guys today?
I am great,
Good,
thank you.
Very well.
Yeah,
Okay.
you good?
Well, I've got a few
Not bad.
questions here. I'm just going to ask them. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a chat. Maybe not. Who knows? But so I wanted to start off by asking, how did you guys meet? Like, sort of like what's like the origin story? How did you guys all come to know each other?
Oh, it's a pure weird
That's thanks to
story.
Aiden, I'd say.
Yeah, that's quite
Thank
a big,
you.
long story.
It's a long story. Kind of just starts with obviously. I knew Jake before I met. I knew Dylan first, and then I knew Jake after that, and then it was Jamie, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 months after I met Sean, which was awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward meet up because it was just out of the blue. He joined like a group chat,
Yeah.
and he was just like, "Hi," and I'm like, "All right, hey."
Yeah.
I didn't
Especially,
know
especially,
I'm the singer. I was like, "All right,
Espe-
hey." I'm the
yeah,
bass.
especially the weird thing is that like Jamie, you've had like pictures of yourself with like these like big like Slipknot style masks on, and Sean, you're just like a bald dude who always wearing tank tops and a beard. So like, I thought you two guys were going to be like Hulk and Goliaths, and you guys are like two head sizes smaller than me.
Yeah, no, man. Photos deceive me very much so because I am a little small dude. I'm very, very small.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yes, so I can tell, especially when I carried you home. But
Nice brag.
Was that a drug night out or something? I want to hear that story. Wait, why did they
No,
carry you home?
No. Dylan was just joking.
All right. Actually,
yeah,
that just seems
yeah.
like something
We'll,
that would
we'll say
happen.
we'll say that. We'll say that. So kind of what made you guys sort of start the band? I know why you started the band, but why did you start the band?
I'll pass that one to Sean.
Well, for me, I really wanted to to kind of bring it back. Like I've always really been into music ever since I was like a teenager, like 13, 14. I was really passionate about the metal scene from a very, very young age, like listening to Disturbed, then Slipknot, and then fucking just escalating to Tool and Papa Roach and Linkin Park. Like I've very much experimented with a lot of those bands that I really, really liked. I went for Metallica and stuff. I always wanted to try and be in a band or be involved with music one way or the other. And I didn't know exactly how to go about that originally. So like I started kind of learning to play guitar first and like I learned a couple of chords, but the passion for guitar just wasn't there. And it actually wasn't until lockdown that I really before lockdown I was actually thinking about wanting to learn to sing. And I was like, oh, I don't really have the time for it. But then when lockdown hit, I was like, right, I'm not working anymore. And don't know when the fuck we're gonna go back to normal. This is the perfect time to just kind of, if I'm passionate about this, I really want to fucking do it because I've always found myself listening to my favorite songs and really wanting to sing them. But since I didn't know how to sing to begin with, it just sounded like dog shit. So I really, during all of lockdown, went out of my way to just self-teach myself singing, like do a lot of the exercises and warm-ups, and I did a lot of fucking research and like time and effort. A lot of it was experimental at the beginning, but I would say I've been self-teaching myself for about almost a year now. And from the experience that I've given myself and with playing with these guys, like I feel like I am getting there and I'm getting there. My screams have really, really improved since day one. And I've learned to actually keep a note and keep in pitch. And I no longer sound like a dead cat on acid anymore. So it's a lot of progress. So I feel like there's a lot of potential. I like to think that there's a lot still there that I need to unlock and stuff, but I'm quite proud with what I've got. But the main part for me wanting to start a band was literally to just make music with some pretty much cool dudes, to just get a message out there and to just hopefully inspire people to like make music as well, because music's such a passionate thing. it's all about the passion and like just the intensity of music and like how it can creatively make all of the lyrics, like it can take you into a story as well. I just want to do that and like be proud to say that it's my own and I've done it with a bunch of people.
Yeah, and you were bringing up, like, you know, obviously the experience that you've been having from like playing with those guys. I was just sort of wondering, like, how obviously you guys are making like sort of like an EP, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Working on the best EP you'll probably ever hear.
No. What are we talking about?
I'm just a
All
very
right.
positive,
Right, okay.
let's go person.
Okay, well, if I'll hold you accountable on that, and we'll see how it goes. And if it doesn't match up to my expectations, you are getting lynched. However,
Right, you.
All seriousness, though, Sean, how do you sort of feel like how do you sort of feel like that your vocals are going? Because obviously you said you've been teaching yourself for, you know, somewhat of a year, and which, you know, many people would consider not being like, you know, very long. So I was just sort of wondering, how do you feel like your vocals stand with like the band so far?
I like to think they stand out okay. Like I feel like I do hold my ground. Like obviously there is still a lot that I need to learn, like when it comes to actually like creating my own vocal rhythm and style and stuff. But when it comes to like the actual singing aspect, I think I have something there that I can very much bring to the table and offer people. And yeah, like just pretty much want to build on that foundation and just get better and better to the point where when we do release like our EP or like, you know, a single for one of our songs, I want it to get to that point where it just sounds kick-ass. Like it complements the instrumentals, like it works with it all. And I feel like I am getting there. Like when I'm recording like my vocals, I do feel really proud of what I'm creating, but obviously I feel like there can be more added to it and I can get better and better. But I feel like it should be fun to hear and hopefully people enjoy it, hopefully.
Yeah. You know, it's not really the matter of like, you know, like, oh, like I have to make this sound good for other people to enjoy. It's just more like if you're having fun doing it, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like as long as I can say that I'm proud of it and I like the sound of it, then I don't give a fuck. Like
so what kind of like approach are you really going for, like the vocals, or you're like planning on, are you like basing them around like any sort of like musicians or like singers that you look up to?
Well, I kind of, when it comes to vocal styles, I'm kind of doing my own thing, but obviously there is inspiration taken from it, whether I mean to do that or not. But like the people that got me wanting to learn how to sing was like David Draymond from Disturbed, like Maynard from Tool, Corey Taylor from Slipknot. Like those three in particular are like my favorite. I can't even speak. Three favorite singers. Yeah, Fifi. Yeah, like three favorite singers of all time. yeah. Fifi. Anyway, yeah, they're my three. Oh my god, I'm doing it again. My three favorite singers. There we go.
Don't worry, I made that mistake as well.
Yeah, I'm just not going to talk because clearly my brain is just pumped to actually forming a sentence.
well, this is actually kind of like this is kind of like a nice little segue into sort of like from what you're saying to like a question that's sort of directed towards everyone in the band. What are your guys' like main influences? What musicians like made you want to do what you do? Obviously, Sean, you just said like, you know, like Corey Taylor and such. And so like Aiden, what made you want to play bass? Or Jamie, what made you want to play drummers? Or so on and so forth?
Originally, I was a guitarist. I started off with my Jackson solos, which is like right behind me there. Brilliant guitar, stunning. I've got
give me it.
I've got
the bass player, don't need it anymore.
Oh no, that guitar has memories, right? Trust me, that guitar has a lot of memories. My first ever
it's seen some shit. That guitar has seen some shit.
It has. It's seen a lot. But no, I moved on to bass when I heard the Tool. Absolutely love Tool. Tool are just phenomenal. Amazing band, Tool. Great artists. Maynard, Adam Jones, Danny Carey, Justin Chancellor. Amazing. Adam Jones is also an artist, but as well he draws. But no, once I heard them, I was like, right, I'm picking up the bass. Guitars.
Love a bit of a name drop there.
Huh?
Love a bit of name drop there.
Promote them. That's the best thing to do.
Oh, they need the promotion, don't they?
Oh, if I can promote them right, I'm gonna
one
do
of the
that.
biggest bands in the prog scene ever.
Let's give him some promotion.
See, they're the biggest.
Oh
in the
yeah, I
prog scene,
forgot
but
Jake's
they
here.
deserve to be the biggest in the world. It's literally, see, I was looking at his camera. He was sitting so still. It's like you wouldn't even notice his camera would have been frozen or something. Cause it's like he frozen, no listening. But he's just sitting so still. And I'm like, wow, stealth.
Speaking of Jake, introduce yourself since our interview. I was so amateur, I forgot to introduce you.
Hey.
Well,
Uh,
I'm Jake. I'm the lead guitarist for the band, and I participate in the writing and recording process as well. Not the lyric writing for the most part, but definitely when it comes to solo and riffs and kind of the general kind of structure of the pieces.
Oh.
And as I said, I am Dylan, and I am a fucking idiot.
that is just so true.
Eddie at the interviewer.
Eddie at the interviewer, go quick. Change my Zoom name real quick to Eddie at the interviewer.
So back to the question you're saying. For me, it was probably best influence was Dave Grohl. No one knows, but that was more just an interest in drums, what drove me to really go further and really want to try be better was like Moose or Michael Thomas from Bullet from a Valentine or Kill the Lights now that he's part of, and later on Alex Spent from Trivium now and Battlecross.
Oh, he's so good, the guy
Great
from
drummer.
Trivium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
I like the guitarist Matt Heafy. He's absolutely phenomenal as well.
Yeah, he's great. I love them all, man. They're great. They're interesting people.
Trivium. I don't really listen to that much, but I do like. I can't remember the songs.
That's what we
name.
call a sin.
All right.
What about you, guy who I forgot existed? What's your main inspirations
My
and
inspiration-
influences?
Jetmaster.
Well, there are a lot, but what initially got me into playing was funnily enough, I was a violinist before a guitarist, but because I've been brought up within a musical family, particularly my mother's side, all musicians. My mum was a violinist, my granddad's a guitarist, always has been.
So you're like a rebellious posh boy, basically, starting off as a violinist and then moving on to.
Fuck off. Anyway,
That is so mean.
Anyway,
He's a
get your
posh
get
boy.
your pompous arse out of here.
I'm kicking you, mate. I'm kicking
I
you.
decided to start playing guitar because I heard my granddad play initially, one of the more kind of well-known blues guitarists about the area back in the 60s or 70s, you know. But
Good years.
then when I started kind of getting right into it, I take influence from in the early days. It was bands like System of a Down and Killswitch Engage, and to an even more extent, Avenged Sevenfold. Actually, Sinister Gates was one of my favorite guitarists of all time, but I kind of moved away from that as time progressed.
He's quite
And
sinister.
it kind of like determines where I went with my style and where how I play now, techniques, and the kind of general music I'm into. Bands like Periphery, to a lesser extent too, bands or musicians like Pliny, Jason Richardson, all the rest of it. Although I'll never be able to play as well as Jason Richardson.
Oh,
All those kind of musicians.
don't bring yourself down. Of course you can.
They really inspire me to play the way I play and to push my skills further as a musician as well as just as a guitarist.
Yeah.
Whether it be playing techniques, anything, you know.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a large aspect to that. Well, just moving on to other questions. I am not reading them off, I swear.
Who said you?
I don't know.
No, there's no
I don't know.
accusers
I don't know. One of the main questions I sort of wanted to bring up was like, obviously there's the influences, but there's also sort of like favorite bands. Like some, like maybe you got influenced by Bon Jovi, but your favorite band is like Metallica or something like that. So I maybe wanted to know, like, what is your guys' like, for now at least, what's your favorite band that you like to listen to right now?
I've actually got a story about my favorite band. Basically, at a young
Is it
age, I
Tool?
was. No, it was no. It's the band that
Tool?
Maynard sings in. That's not Tool.
Basically,
What,
Tool.
Primus?
No, no, nah. Basically, I was originally a System of a Down fan like when I was young, but
Yeah.
I kind of grew into Tool just because like I don't. I like to be. I love the music, but to me, to understand that music, you've got to be a talented
Became
person in
enlightened,
music.
and now you are a higher being.
Yeah, you go, you're first awakened, my dude.
Spiral
Aiden's an alien. Like he's so woke.
No, guys, totally like pure spiral out and that. You know what I mean? The Fibonacci sequence. That's life.
Man.
Can I just take 2 minutes to guide you over to the religion of Tool?
Yeah, and I'm
Absolutely.
gonna take the wheel.
You just seem to
take the wheel over here.
You just seem to think that if you say it enough times, we'll start repeating it in our sleep, and then eventually we'll just wake up with a Tool shirt on or something like that.
That's how it works.
Start like a whole
How do you
call.
think I came a Tool fan?
Zombie walking Tool.
Hey, Mac, you
Tool.
You just start to wake up, and then you know, you just wake up, you're like Googling top 10 best bass lines, hoping that Tool is in it. Otherwise, you're going to get really.
No, you're hoping Tool's in every single one.
Well, Tool aren't everyone. I could name 10 songs with good bass lines: Vicarious, Enema, Descending.
Another one. Another one.
Just name it songs.
Lateralis.
You said that already.
Honorable mention.
Hard to remember these names, right? They're so complicated, right? So Tempest, Descending, Lateralis.
You're reading off a list.
Vicarious, The Pot. I'm not. Look, there's no list. You want me to share my screen? Right.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No
list. I don't need no list.
We
I'm
believe
a true
you.
fan.
It's actually
I'm a true Tool fan, so I forget all the names of the songs.
I'm gonna jump in with Aiden. Like fucking Ticks and Leeches is a really good bass line too.
That's a good song.
That's one of my favorite songs. But
See,
I know
you
I'm
guys
not
know.
but are there any Tool bass lines you don't like?
Don't say that. That's a loaded question.
That's like saying.
Don't answer that.
That's like saying, is there anything you don't like about yourself?
Don't answer
I love
that.
my whole self. As I love
they will attack.
The only bass line I didn't like was the one.
Going to bite.
Oh, what one is it? No, it's off the album Undertow. I think it's the song Undertow. I didn't even like that song that much. It's a brilliant song, but I didn't like that much.
It's a brilliant song, but I didn't like it.
I didn't like that song that much, but it's a brilliant song, you know.
You can not like a song and say it's a good song, right?
Yeah.
You can't. It's like, why would you? Like, loads of people say WAP's a good song, right? It's super bad, right?
Yeah, it's
it's awful, but people can like it. You can like something that's bad.
It's got a better bass line than any Tool song, mate.
Right, that sounds
fun. Shit.
Jamie, he's going to stone you.
I quit.
He is going to stone you.
I quit.
He's going to bury you up to your neck in sand and then throw stones at your heads. You've sealed your fate, Jamie.
I hope his throne is better than his grammar.
For Chancellor to you.
Can tune a guitar down to drop D, doesn't know his ABCs.
Listen, I'm not going to lie, right? I put my guitar into drop D one time and I fucked about for about 10 minutes and I do not see why it took Tool 13 years to write the new album.
I agree with that. But the problem is Tool are precious.
I could have done it in about 15 minutes.
Controversy, man.
Anyway, back to the question.
Yeah,
we're getting carried away. Yeah, back to the question. So, if you couldn't guess, his band is going to be Tool. In case you didn't notice.
No, it's Metallica. You can't just go and say it's Tool. It's Metallica.
I think the same can be said for Sean, though. The same for you, Sean.
What are you saying,
Same can
Jamie?
be said for you, Sean, isn't it? For Tool, being one of your favorite bands.
Tool are definitely one of my favorites. They're one of my second favorite bands of all time. It always changes. Like my all-time favorite will always be Disturbed, but it's like my top three are Disturbed, Slipknot, and Tool. They're like my fucking bands that I listen to all day, every day, constantly. They're my religious bands.
It's actually Disturbed. That was a funny how I came across that, but it was like I remember sitting because I wasn't into like super heavy metal yet, but it was not even Slipknot, but I think it was like Metallica that. And all I remember is, you remember that video, the guy going, "Oh," and it's the pure funny one. I literally saw that.
Yeah, that
And I
one.
just couldn't stop laughing. So after I heard that song, and he goes, "Oh," I just fell in love with that song. But I like 2 or 3 of their songs, but I just
I
remember
don't know.
that pure
It's
funny
weird. So
one.
like you know these like really bad like AMV videos where they'll take like clips from like an animated TV show, like the fight
They're
scenes or
not all
something like that,
bad.
and they'll
They
put
Oh,
can be
yeah.
very good. They can be
and they'll
very
put like
Uh.
and they'll put like a Disturbed song on it. I still remember. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like something like Avatar. It was like an Avatar
You're
one.
jumping,
The Last
you're jumping
Airbender.
into the territory of the time scale when memes like Me Gusta and Trollface were still relevant.
Oh my god, yeah, they were the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
memes. Fuck,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
old.
It was one of those
sorry.
videos, and it was like fight scene from like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and someone had put 10,000 Fists by Disturbed. So that was how I first ever came across them. It was from like a weird like Avatar: The Last Airbender video.
That's a good movie.
That's awesome. Mine
See,
was
see
actually
when
kind
you're
of
talking
similar.
about that, I was literally watching that today. Clips it on
Oh,
YouTube. That's pure
oh.
weird coincidence.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because how I actually came across Disturbed was literally by accident on YouTube when I was like 12. I was watching like Dragon Ball music videos because I was really, really sad and was like very much into them. And literally just came across like one of Disturbed's songs that someone made a Dragon Ball music video to. And I just thought it was sick as fuck. And it just, that hooked me to the band alone.
Yeah.
No, I totally get you. Yeah. Basically, there's so much music out there. It's like you're never going to meet someone that's got exactly the same taste as you. Like if you do, that's a pure weird coincidence. But
yeah, that's something I would that's something I would always said. I've always said there's no such thing as a good taste in music because no matter what you say, there's going to be a large group of people to disagree with you, and I still stand by that. I find it really interesting over the fact that like. Because I've always had the mentality like you can hate whatever song you like, but if they've got like millions of people like loving their music, then they must be doing something right, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's yet to answer the question? Jamie, you didn't say your favourite bands yet, did you?
No, I didn't. Trivium, Slipknot. Pantera is definitely one of them. Quite a few of them, actually. Yeah, just a bunch of bands that I enjoy and want to see live as much as I can.
I think, see, I remember the band we connected through, Jamie, which was Thingy. What was it? It was Whitechapel, because I remember I played that riff and dropped G. Oh shit, I know that riff. And I was like, oh, lit. And then that's
just someone went, son of a bitch, I'm in.
I was like, fuck, brilliant. That was
a good
funny.
time, that.
I don't know. When I first met Aiden, I didn't really bond over like any like riffs. I'm pretty sure like the closest thing to a riff that we bonded over was a really terrible version of Seven Nation Army. Because it
was just two chords, two bar chords.
Yeah,
which I remember it was a D5 and the third interval of the D scale.
The
third chord, the third fifth chord.
Yeah, it was really weird because like I first met Aiden when like I just started learning to play guitar, and then I walked in and then I see him and he's carrying like his bass and like his bass amp and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So this is Aiden, the bass player, and he picks up the guitar that I was going to grab, and then he just pulls a solo, and I'm like, why am I even here? What's the point?
I was a cocky bastard back then with my guitar skills. I've learned how to
back then
now. That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. No, you've definitely humbled over the years. I will admit that.
I think that's just working with so many people, like especially you guys, have definitely helped me all this.
Yeah, it's because we can tell you when to shut up.
I never said you could tell me when to shut
up. Oh, but we don't. Well, you haven't
tell me when to shut up.
You didn't give us permission. You didn't give us permission, but we do it anyway, you know?
No, you don't.
Yeah. Anyway, Jake, what's your favourite bands to listen to nowadays?
I've already previously mentioned it, but I'm definitely more in the prog scene now than anything else, although I listen to a bit of everything. My main kind of musicians I listen to are Periphery, Plenty, Polyphia, Unprocessed, you name it, but mainly right now Unprocessed and Plenty, especially Plenty, because he released his new album recently, Impulse Voices. It's just, as Aiden would put it, absolutely
Awesome.
phenomenal. You
Oh,
know,
aye.
there's so much going on. I love the technicality of it. I love the modal melodies, the jazz chord changes, absolutely everything about it. It's like total candy for the ear, you know. Like there's so much going on, but it's done in a subtle way that it's not painful to listen to it.
Mhm.
It's
That-
just something that my ear loves hearing that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So I always kind of opt for bands like that. I've been listening to a lot of Jason Richardson as well recently, of course, as well.
Yeah.
But
Our
I don't
man
know.
Jason.
I kind of stay within that scene, but I listen to all sorts, man. Like I've been watching fucking piano covers of like the Game of Thrones soundtrack recently and things like that as well. Like
I love,
straight
I
up,
love
yeah.
stuff like that.
everything, you know, just like
Mm.
everything. Like if there's the way I see it, like I've got like a certain taste, but like if something's on and I like the way it sounds, I'll just leave it on. Like I don't
Yeah.
need to listen to anything in particular for me to
Yeah,
enjoy
like
it.
yeah,
Mm.
like you can not let stuck down to just like like one genre. I can only ever listen to rock music or anything like that.
because
You just
all that's doing is putting yourself into a category, which is like the whole point in music's like bringing people together, not segregating them, you know, into categories. Like it's about unification, not division, you know.
yeah.
So I listen to all sorts. I listen to classical, I listen to jazz. I don't listen that much to pop, to be honest, unless I'm literally anywhere outside and where you just hear it all the time. But
Yeah.
That's a question.
definitely all sorts of metal, all sorts of rock, everything, you know.
That's a question for you, because I know you're like a big fan of Jake Bowen. If you had the opportunity to play with Pliny or Jake Bowen, who would it be?
Well, assuming that if I get to play with Jake Bowen, I get to play with all of Periphery, then it's gotta be Jake Bowen.
Hmm.
But for the jazzier side of it, and like the less kind of riff heavy side of it, it's definitely Pliny.
Right.
You know, like I've also, did I ever tell you that I've played Mark Colcomb's guitar?
No,
nice.
no.
Oh yeah, fuck. I remember you telling me
No,
when
no,
you were at the studio.
not one of his models, like his guitar.
Wait, where did you play that?
I don't believe you.
Did you just see a
Not
guitar
true.
go? I don't know.
I'll explain this, right? A couple of years ago now, they had Mark Colcomb was doing a clinic with Nick Johnson. You probably heard of him as well.
Yeah, I love Nick Johnson.
He was it was in Guitar Glasgow actually. They were doing like a clinic. It was like an ad for it was basically like an ad for the new Diadario NYXL strings they'd brought out. I've actually got them on my main Ibanez up there. Produced an amazing sound. But I met Mark Cockham there, and as well as Nick Johnson. The pictures are up on my Facebook if you don't believe me. Somewhere, I've got pictures. I've got
I need
pictures
to
with
see
them.
that.
I'm like this, like pure fangirling, man. It's awesome.
I need to see that.
Basically, what my point is at the end when they were out doing the meet and greet, he left. Mark Holcomb left like 4 or 5 of his guitars on stands at the front of the shop, so that like people that were in at the clinic could just kind of pick them up and like get a shot. So it was absolutely amazing getting to play. Maybe it's just the inner fangirl in me because Mark Holcomb is like one of my favorite guitarists of all time, man. And getting to play that sweet PRS as well, his one, so amazing, man.
Oh, I see like a photo. Someone got a Metallica Worldwide photo, and it's Nick Johnson up on stage.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I see. Periphery. Oh, that's sick. That's actually pretty sick, man.
Have you found a picture of me with Mark Holcomb?
Oh, aye, Mark and
Mark and Nick Johnson.
Oh, what? I'm actually so jealous.
Oh man, that
Absolutely
was awesome.
love Nick Johnson. That's actually insane. No,
that's cool, man.
His guitar is so influential.
That was definitely a treat getting to meet both of them. So it was funny actually. It was on a total whim. So it was like I was legit like the night before I had been.
That is cool. That is.
I had been at my ex. There I am.
Hey, that is sick, man. No way.
That's so cool.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dude,
I love how just so many people are there to see.
Yeah.
Man,
how I found out about this was awesome. Actually, I was with my now ex-girlfriend, but I was in our dad's car. Right, we were going somewhere to a restaurant or something the night
Yeah.
before, and it was actually her dad that told me that this clinic was happening, because he's like a pure Heavy Periphery fan as well. Funnily enough, he wasn't there, but he told me about this the night before it happened, and all I had to do was go on and get a ticket, go online, but the tickets were totally free. So they just sent you an email with like a picture of the ticket, and you just show the guy your phone when you walk in. You just go right on in. It was amazing. So it was.
Yeah.
He played all sorts. He did some improvisation. As you saw on that Facebook post, there are a couple of clips as well.
Aye,
He
with him
just
with
talked
guitar.
about stuff. He played some Amiga. He played all sorts of stuff. They only played like one song in its entirety, and that was The Way the News Goes, the one everybody knows when you think of Mark Holcomb. You know, I can't play that one for you right now. I don't know how to play that line, but it's an absolutely amazing track. But that's just my bias because, you know, I love all things Periphery. Hell, I've got the fucking Cyber P t-shirt on right now, you know. I actually have like 4 or 5 Periphery
You know, the
tops.
difference is that Periphery songs aren't absolutely broken. So.
Oh, wait, you talking about our music?
No.
No, he's talking
No,
about
he's
Cyberpunk.
He's got a Cyberpunk t-shirt on. Well, the Cyberpunk Periphery.
What's wrong with
Periphery
Cyberpunk?
t-shirt.
Oh shit, it's Cyberpunk.
Broken. That's what's wrong with it.
It's got the tabs for a gent riff on it as well.
Oh,
No way.
I didn't even notice
what
that.
riff that is.
I didn't know that.
You know, Jake, the most
tragic
tragic part is about you having that t-shirt is that you got rid of your beard. That is the most tragic part of it. Because I was dying to have you on the podcast.
It's so
The stubble's there. The stubble's there. It's coming back.
I was dying to have you come onto the podcast with like shades on, just looking like Johnny Silver, like Keanu Reeves. That would have been the best.
Johnny Depp.
Keanu Depp. Keanu Depp.
Wake the fuck up, mommy.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's perfect, Jake. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good.
Fantastic.
That's perfect, man. It looks like cock. See, you literally look like a police officer with their glasses on.
You like a bad guy from Karate Kid 3.
Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad guys?
I don't think we are the bad guys.
The Billie Eilish song, yeah.
Creep. It's called Creep Pop because she's a creep.
All right.
Like
No,
Radiohead.
No,
Yeah.
Radiohead do it well, but she just I don't know.
That's something I was going to say. That's another band that's like half guilty pleasure, half not, because I fucking flaunt it, but it's pure edgy. I absolutely love Radiohead. I don't know if you knew that about me.
Yeah,
Aye,
I like the song.
I don't know.
No.
I love the
I
song.
like-
Radiohead. It's cool.
I mean, I know for
I
a fact that you definitely
I like
have
the
been
hanging
down on Radiohead a few times because I still remember when like we were on the train to like go to our first jam, you were beating down Radiohead the entire time, doing like fake emo voices, like "I'm a creep" and stuff like that.
I'm a weirdo.
I would delete.
You so fucking special.
A banana.
Banana smoothie. Broccoli. What are you doing?
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
Well, Jake, you've just pulled out a guitar right there. I think the appropriate question that I can ask right now is, well, how much time do you actually spend? No. The main
That's a
question I was
reasonable
going to, if I may.
Yeah.
The main question I was going to ask was sort of like, how much time do you actually spend writing riffs? Are you you're writing riffs, practicing, recording, whatever? How much time do you spend on the guitar altogether?
Altogether, I'm sitting like this all the time, you know. I'm just sitting like fucking about all the time, like just experimenting with new things as often as I can. Like recently, it's been open tunings, you know, like tunes to an E major 7 chords, you know. It's then you can come up with some interesting stuff like that. You know, you can come up with your I don't know. Let's come up with a Midwest emo riff right now.
Beautiful stuff.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But like, I just kind of, I spend a lot of my time improvising. That's how I come up with ideas. Like, even for riffs and stuff, I'll pull out my 7-string or whatever, and I'll just, I'll just plug in and I'll just like start fucking mashing at it as hard as I can, and something will happen. Sometimes nothing happens, But I couldn't give you a time in hours per day because I spend hours per day. I don't really keep count, Like
Right.
I'm always on the guitar, man.
Do you ever bump into this problem? Right. Do you ever bump into this problem? Because this happens to be way too much. Have you ever had this situation where you send in like a riff that you've written and you think it sounds quite good, and either someone says that it sounds like a song that already exists, so it bothers you in your head, so you can't use it, or where like you start to think that yourself and you're like, oh, this just sounds like that song that I heard like 2 hours ago.
Well, what I'll do in a situation like that, because I can think of a few like major examples where that's happened. Like I'm trying to think. I can't think of the example right now in terms of song names, but there's an Avenged Sevenfold song. I think it's called like Beaten and Broken or something like that. I can't remember for the life of me. It's probably not it. I think it's on Critical Acclaim, that album. And the riff, I can't remember how the riff goes. I can't play it right now, but totally it is exactly the same as a Metallica riff, some specific one. And there's also a lot of songs that have come out that have totally ripped off the Unholy Confessions riff,
Yeah.
That one, right?
Yeah.
Didn't
Avenged Sevenfold get into a lot of trouble because This Means War sounded a lot similar to Sad But True by Metallica?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
but
I'm your mind.
Yeah. In my experience, though, if anything like that were to happen, what I would do is I would go back and revisit that riff, presuming that I recorded it in GarageBand or whatever, and I would listen to that riff. I would listen to the riff that I was told it sounded like, and I would compare them. And anything that sounded identical, I would see if there was anything different I could do with those parts, and then like rebuild the riff, but not entirely from scratch, so all of your ideas are still there, but it gives it a more unique sound where, that can even be done with a simple idea such as guess some notes. Like, I don't know, let's say
I wonder what that song is.
if I play it all as major 7 chords, it'll sound the same, but it'll sound different, It sounds shite, right? It's 21st century jazz, people. But like, you take a riff. That's how you take inspiration. You take a riff, you take a solo, you take an idea, and you make it your own by adding your own flair to it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's how songs tend to be just made in general, obviously. But,
I know. I'm just joking.
But like, I'll get an idea. Like, there's a certain like Plenty like I've been hearing a lot. And it's kind of like a really traditional Australian kind of sound to it. But it's like this kind of, it's just like a descending major scale, but he like adds like doubling the notes, like it gives it a really unique sound. But I like to take those kind of ideas and I'll do the opposite. I won't get the riff and then add my own flair to it. I'll take his technique and I'll apply it to my own riffs to make it my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Right now, but it's definitely a great way to do it, and I do it for guitar, obviously, but it's certainly applicable to everything. I think anyway, whether that be drums, bass, even vocals. You can take the same melody lines. Hell, I've noticed in a lot of music, the same like melody lines are used, like it's always going up and down the minor scale, but it sounds major because of the note placement and the intervals they use. Like, I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now because obviously I can't fucking sing. But every
sing for him.
every vocalist is unique, right? Like their voice is totally different. So when they sing a melody line, they naturally add their own flair to it, unless they're trying to be a direct clone. Whether that be within the tonality of their voice, the way they build into those notes. But that's definitely applicable to playing an instrument as well, because you can create your own sound, not just through your amps or your instrument or your pedal or whatever you're using. It's definitely more so through your own technique and your own playing that you create your sound. That's how you create your own style when it comes to anything in life, you know?
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I thought I want to move on to Jamie, because I've noticed that you've been a bit quiet there.
Oh, man. Just hogged it.
Yeah, you did. No, I'm only kidding on you, didn't actually. But so I want to turn the attention to the drummer, man. Just sort of wondering, is there any like kind of like specific like drum style like you're going for with sort of like the EP that you guys are making, or even just the band as it in general? Is there anything sort of like no?
Metal drum?
Metal?
I'm not going for I'm going for post grunge, metalcore, death. Whatever, I don't care for that.
Norwegian death flaps, you know.
Yeah, these
like subgenres, these good subgenres that get made up on Reddit. Yeah, like.
Yeah, so I just like go with what I want to play. Like, if I hear a song, or in fact, recently I discovered that adverts help me make my beats, because I'll maybe hear someone talking on an ad on the radio, or a stupid ad on TV where I'm just watching whatever on TV. And
you just imagine them in a metal song or something, and you come up with the drums.
Yeah, the phrase just sticks to my head, and I stick the phrase with the rhythm of the words, like Black Currant. One of the songs I'm making now is a combination of like just a bunch of words I put together, and this kind of drums follow that pattern for the whole song. So there's not any like rhyme or reason to mine. It's just whatever I feel like playing, I'll play it. If it sounds better one way, I'll go with it. If I don't like how it sounds, I'll just go back to square one and try again. Not much to it.
So it's kind of like when like you're saying like, obviously you'll use like specific words and then like use them for like specific rhythms, like, you know, maybe like you hit like the snare like Black Currant or something like that. So it's pretty much kind of just like similar to how like when you start off in like a music class, they'll like teach you like the notes and stuff like that, and they'll be like tea, coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah, but a bit more random in my case, because like what Jake said, he mentioned how he takes certain techniques from a song and adds it to a riff he was thinking of or was thinking to use. I'm kind of similar. If I maybe hear a song in one of our songs we're making, I hear the guitar riff, I'm like, don't really have anything for this. But then the next day I hear either one of my parents or my friends say something, I'm like, hold on, I'll write down the phrase and then I'll write it into different drum beats for the bass drum, snare, different hi-hat mixtures and all that, cymbal work. It's just, it's a bit just random how it works sometimes. I don't have a logic to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, also, obviously, since you guys are making the EP and, you know, the world is currently on fire right now, you know, figuratively speaking. I'd imagine recording studios aren't exactly very essential right now. So I was sort of just wondering, like, are you using like an acoustic drum kit all mic'd up for this EP, or are you more using electric, or are you just using an electric drum kit?
For all the demos so far, I've just been using my own electric drum kit, mainly because it's just really good for recording stuff. It's got different dynamics to it, so it makes it really good. For the EP final, though, I do want to get a mic'd up full kit using things such as like Zildjian's cymbals and stuff like that. They're my favorite cymbals, Zildjian. Snare-wise, though, I've got this old snare I've been using for like a decade, and it's my favorite one. It's not even got a brand. It's just a snare drum I was given as a hand-me-down, but I've loved it ever since I got it. So I'll use it.
As a guitarist, talking about all those like snares and like cymbals, so just
you say that, but when these two guitarists down there talk about anything to do with scales, chords, or anything, I'm just like
diminished seventh.
What?
Yeah.
Why is there
that's
7?
right.
You have 6 guitar strings. What are you talking about?
yeah.
Talking crap.
Yeah. Well, so I also kind of want to ask a question that's sort of directed towards all you guys that I meant to ask earlier, but I didn't. We were talking about favorite bands, and my question is, what if you were to go on stage and play with any band live on stage, dead or alive, split up or still together, who would it be? What band
Well,
would it be and
For
why?
me, it's quite a simple one for me.
Tool.
No,
Is it Tool, maybe?
Polyphia.
Polyphia.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
I'm not.
Glenn, you have not mentioned. You have
I
not
know
mentioned
exactly
enjoying
why.
Polyphia once.
Because it's the reason I would do it.
You
Tim
sure?
Henson is sexy as hell.
Jim
I know. No, I do it because I just feel like
Yeah.
it'll be a challenge. Like I
Like-
just think
Ach-
half of their stuff is quite intricate, and it's just it would be a
Wait,
challenge.
now.
I'm like a old prog person, so like playing with Tool, yeah.
Polyphia is new age.
Polyphia is just kind of like something I've never
like,
done before.
The
So
members of
I love.
Polyphia are not that much older than us. You know that, right? At least
Ah,
Tim
I know
Henson.
that.
Hi, I'm talking
Wow.
about Tool. I'm saying Tool. Like
Like,
they're
that just
quite-
makes me really
Tim Henson-
insecure
I'm
about my
talking
skill.
about Tool in that way. They're quite
Yeah,
old-fashioned prog. But
I
like,
thought you were talking about Polyphia there.
no, because I know Tim Henson's like 24 years old or something, like 24, 23. But no, I just feel like working with them would just be something different from just always Tool.
Yeah.
I would still play with Tool, but I just feel like Polyphia would be something different.
All right. So Ethan and Jake are with Polyphia. Sean.
I think mine's pretty obvious. I think I would probably play with Disturbed. Disturbed or
Yeah.
Slipknot, but I think I would just something about just being on stage with David Draymond because he was the guy that inspired me to go singing. So it would be really cool to just kind of do that. I think it'd be pretty chill.
Yeah, meeting your idol is such an
Yeah.
amazing thing. Getting to
Yeah,
perform with them
absolutely.
would be so perfect, man.
I would die. I would literally be like, I
Like-
just would.
If I was
felt
going to
the same
perform
way
with
about
one
it,
instrumental, it would be
See,
Adam
when I met
Jones.
Mark Holcomb, I was sitting thinking the only way this could be better is if he invited me up on that stage with him right now and I got to play alongside him. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Like I did a meet and greet with Disturbed, and like I actually met the band, and like just by like doing that photo with them with like their arms around me, I literally like fangirled inside, like.
Don't worry, man. I
Inside,
know that feeling so well.
Yeah.
Outside, I was really like, nice to meet
I'm
you.
not quite
nice
like
to meet you.
that.
But inside, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. When I first
hand again that you used to shake theirs.
when I met Nolan North and Troy Baker, they're not musicians. They're
Troy Baker.
they're not
Voice actors.
Nolan North. For people who don't know who that is,
YouTubers.
those are.
Oh no, I triggered him.
They are two very famous video game voice actors.
Yeah.
Aiden, next
So
time, if you
YouTubers.
don't,
I don't
next
think
time,
they're
if you don't know who they are, stop talking.
Aiden, you know who else is a YouTuber? You know who else is a YouTuber?
I've triggered him.
Oh my god.
Johnny Sins is a YouTuber. A
Yeah.
vlogger.
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's one time I met Johnny Sins. No.
Yeah, he's a
When
good
you stuck in the washing machine when it happened.
I don't want to talk about it.
What are you
Yeah.
doing, Step Bro?
I got stuck in the washing machine. Please help
Good
me.
ending, right? I am stuck. Come help me, step bro. And he just walks up, grabs you by the legs, and just pulls you out of the washing machine. The end.
Full-
That's just,
Anyway,
Having a
let's move on.
Yeah.
Move
I
on.
forgot what I was gonna say now. Oh well.
We were talking about who you want to play with or meet. Something like that.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
nah.
Why the fuck was I talking about voice actors then? Nah, I don't know.
We were
You're saying
talking
your
about
side.
favourite because we went from like I think we went from like who would we play with, our favourite idols, and then we went to YouTubers.
Oh wait, yeah. We were talking about how Jake and Sean were talking about how like they were fangirl and I haven't really met any musicians, but I have met some famous voice actors. Nolan
You've met
Nolan
this
North
guy
and
here.
Troy Baker. Troy Baker and Nolan North being the two biggest names that I've met. Genuinely, I was actually shaking. Like I went in for a handshake and I didn't even move my hand, but for some reason I was still doing this. Like I wasn't even trying to move my hand. And and then I eventually calmed down about it because I was heavy into card tricks at the time. And I asked Troy Baker if I could do my magic trick, and I did because he voiced the Joker in the Batman Arkham games. I did this thing where he picks a card, and then no matter how many times he chooses a card, he can choose to cut from the middle of the deck, whatever. He would still get the Joker card, and I kept annoying him to the point where not really annoying him, but just doing the trick, and he kept trying to figure it out, and it just got to the point where he literally just stood up and shouted, "I love magic" in the middle of the place. And the guy, funnily enough, the guy who played the Red Power Ranger in the original Power Rangers just turned around and was just just looked at him and was like, "What?" And I don't know. It was just it's weird when you see people that have a big name towards them, and you're just like, "Oh God, it's this guy," even though there's not really anything too different between them or you. I find that quite.
Then
weird.
you realise
they
they're
do sound
normal.
like nice YouTubers.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all these people are human beings, and we do idolize these people, but they're just like us. They have their flaws, they have their shit. They're just people, man.
Yeah,
They're just
there is kind of a large aspect to it where it's everybody says, "Oh, I want to be famous and get stopped in the streets," but I personally think that would kind of be a bit annoying because imagine the worries that you go through on a daily life, "Oh, I need to pay this bill, I need to do this, I need to do that." But imagine getting stopped every 5 minutes for somebody to take a picture with you, and then mixing that with what you have to get done in your life.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as in that would be annoying them, you are annoying them if you come up and "Hey, I'm a fan, can I get a picture?" I'm just saying I feel like you would. It doesn't really sound ideal to me. That's what I'm saying.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah,
right,
Sean.
Okay.
Take
We'll
care.
see you
Bro.
later. Thank you for joining us.
Not a problem.
Thank you, bro.
But, it was thanks for having me. It was really, really chill, and yeah, it was cool. I hope you guys have a good time and a good
Awesome,
night.
Sean,
man.
man.
Yeah, you too, man. Good night.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye,
man.
mate.
Bye, Sean.
Bye, bro.
Bye bye.
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 I miss him already.
Don't we all?
Come back, babe. I
Come back,
miss you.
man.
I need the big Johnson.
Come back.
Johnson.
Right, well, weirdly enough, I was actually about to move on to one of our last few questions, but first I've got a couple of questions for Aidan.
Yes. I'm ready,
well,
sir.
For one, yeah, of course you are. And oddly enough, the questions are about bass because you are a bassist.
Oh, fudge. I have no practice, right? Let's go.
Right, well, obviously you guys are making the album, and also you're doing the mixing. So I was sort of wondering, how will you approach this album when it comes to the bass and the mixing?
Also with bass, I just do what I usually do. Listen to the song. I always try and create the bass line in my head. I always try and go for something simple, so I'll follow the root notes. And I'll just kind of bounce off. Say someone's playing a C major 7th. To a G major 7th. I'll basically play the C, the G, the C, the G, and then what happens is once I go for that, I'll start going, right, I'll start adding in 3rds and 5ths and 7ths, not all in that order, but random orders, and see how it goes. So when they're strumming that chords, I might go boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, in a weird pattern, and then I might have a fill between the 3rd, 7th, and the 5th back to the root. And stuff like that, it just helps. And after that, I just let it flow. I don't think. I think for the first part, and then once I understand what I'm doing, I just let my fingers do it, and off I go. That's basically what I do. Sometimes when it's quite a intricate song with loads of lead work, not a lot of chords, I'll just try and figure out what the lead and the rhythm are doing, and try not copy it too much. Try and add a bit of difference in the bass.
Yeah.
And then just follow it and stick to the rules of bass, space,
the rules
rhythm,
of bass,
and timing.
The rules of bass written by the ancients. Yeah.
No, it's just my rules. Just
Your
rules I like
yeah.
to keep my head in order. Because if you don't have rules, then you're just going to break out and do stupid stuff. So keep rules.
Of bass, rules of bassists: pluck, string, do it good. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is the best part about being a bassist? I know for a fact that there is sort of like this like big genuine misconception about like, especially in like these like YouTube skits. Like it always seems like bassists. It always seems like whenever you look at a bassist in like a YouTube skit or something, it seems like they've always got a shorter than a stick. Like they didn't choose that. But I sort of wanted to see like your point of view on like what you think of like obviously your instrument and how much you enjoy it. Maybe get shine a little bit of light on like how you feel, but how much passion you actually do shine into what you play.
Well, for me, bass is just as good as guitar. You can do things on guitar that you can't do in bass, things on bass you can't do in guitar.
You can't play a high E string on a bass.
True. But you can't play a mega low E on the guitar. So there you go.
Unless you get a 9 string.
A 9 string
Yeah,
or
Is that a bit excessive?
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Kind of a big fucking thing.
Oh, I know they exist, but big overkill in it.
Yeah, like,
I'll say that one.
the size, like the size
Yeah.
of your head.
Good thing with a bass though.
Oh, he's reaching for the big boy. He's getting the big boy.
Fall. Oh.
Did you just seriously just wish that your friend fall?
When it comes to
Yes.
basses, I just love how low they are. And just see that top string. Oh, that's in drop A.
How low do you want your bass guitar? Yes.
Yes.
No, like
Aidan, you're going to eventually be the first person to find a brown note, aren't you?
I have already.
You definitely are.
No,
You
but
already
just with
found it.
bass, I love the feeling. I love guitar, but bass, it's just the feeling and the way a bass is. It
Yeah.
feels. It just. I don't get why people bully it because it
All
doesn't
right.
feel like an
Yeah.
instrument that's meant to be played simple. Oh no, what are you playing? Oh mate, screw that.
Oh no! Doesn't even sound like anything now.
I know.
Jimmy just with his drumsticks.
Awkward, I know.
Mate, Jamie.
Oh wait,
he
sorry
makes
guys,
no
sorry
sound.
guys.
Where's my guitar? I don't have a guitar. I've got a jar for the tail.
I think it's kind of
Wait a
loose,
minute.
guys.
Oh my god.
The string comes off.
What if I told you it's a bass string I have on this guitar? You can see how thick it is compared to the rest
I'd
of the
say you're
lights.
full of do.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, so it is.
The big boy.
It's a big boy. Big boy. Oh yeah.
I'll tune that more.
I can't be bothered. Yeah, just string slides off. Turns into like big old sprig area.
Aiden, it's in drop E now.
Just
I can
Is
do the
this-
Doom soundtrack.
I was about to say that.
I'm back.
Is that a dim soundtrack?
Oh, I've got synth as well.
Yeah, because that's a dim soundtrack, ain't it, Aiden? Or whoever the hell did that.
I don't know. I just kind of sung something. Them soundtracks, diddle 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 boom diddle. I can't really do it. I can't do it in my voice, but
Yeah, that.
This is so fucking stupid.
Fuck.
Why did I agree to this shit?
You volunteered.
Hey, you're having
Anyway,
fun.
you agree, and you get paid for.
I'm not getting paid.
We didn't tell him that far yet. God damn
I
it.
know, damn it. Thought we did.
Where, Aiden, sort of like, where do you see yourself in like the foreseeable future? Like, what's in fact, you know, let's just ask everybody this. Where is sort of like, where do you think is like the peak top? Do you guys sort of want to have like $1 million houses, big cars, big yeti wives?
Living out in
and
the
stuff like
street.
that? Or are you guys more comfortable with, like, I don't know, like maybe like getting like a decent living, being able to afford like a decent enough house, just from like playing pubs like every week or something like that? Like, where's your guys' ideal like stage? Do you guys want to be like up there in like Olympic stadiums, or just more like, I don't know, like nightclubs like every week?
Obviously, we want to be in big stages, but we're not going to pure soak our hearts out and die just to play the SSC Hydro. We just, if we play the garage, we're still making good money and having fun. It's not about the
Yeah,
money and about how big you are. It's about how much fun you're having and helping people out your story. It's all
Yeah.
about, when you write music, you're not writing it for just yourself. You're writing it for helping people out, giving them a
Yeah.
story to listen to.
That's always been.
Actually share the opposite sentiment, Of course, what musician, especially in this part of the industry, doesn't want people to know about them?
Yeah.
I don't do it for the fame. I would never ever like to say that I do it for the fame, because that's a lie. But when
I
I write
agree with
music,
Jake on that.
I write music on my own terms. I do it for
Hold
first
on.
and foremost myself and
Back in a minute, guys.
my bandmates. That's who I do it for first.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter how famous it gets. Doesn't really matter if we're playing big studios.
Mm.
I don't want to live in a £1 million mansion. I don't give a shit if I drive a fancy car. See, as long as I'm making enough to live comfortably, and especially if I'm living comfortably, making money, doing the things I love, like that's. I know that sounds so soppy, right? But like, isn't that just like the ideal position to be in life? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I totally agree with you on that. Like,
Mhm.
it's not about being famous. Like, you could be
Mhm.
playing gigs like the garage and making enough buck to live in a wee flat. All
Yeah.
right, I'm still gigging with my band. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good. You know what I mean? You don't need £1 million, because you look at all these £1 million people. What do they do
I
with
mean,
their life? They've got to tour all the time because they're that big, so they barely get to
well,
use their house.
that
All
and
right.
You know what I mean? You're
I
always
think.
touring. What's the point buying a £1 million mansion?
Well, that it's kind of interesting to kind of like think about it. I've thought about stuff like this. To me, like being in a band's like, I've always just saw like being in a band and like jamming with like your friends. That's what it is basically. You're just jamming with your friends and having a good time. And it's like, I think there is like a certain level to where like you earn such an amount of money, especially in like a gigging life where you're like filling stadiums. Like if you get like a certain amount of money to the point where you're maybe like an ego will start to creep up on you or something like that. But the same, and I don't know. It's just like weird. It's like I've always just seen like being in a band is just basically just sort of more like a friendship thing. Do you guys sort of like look at that the same way?
Yeah,
More
yeah. I see
I
it more.
agree with you
You start off as
wholeheartedly.
friends, but see if you're in a band for like
It
30
should always
years,
be.
you
It
become
should always be a
family.
friendship.
Mm.
Yeah.
You
At no
become
point
family after
should
a
it
while.
ever. At no point should it ever take a.
Business stand, become a business.
Obviously there is business in the industry. That's where the whole
Mm.
money part of it comes in. But
Mm.
money, in my opinion, should never be the primary goal. It should be, if it's
Making
going to
good
be there,
music.
it should be an optional byproduct of your actual goal, which is having fun, making good music, getting to know people.
It should be an effect, not a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Jimmy? You left the room just before you were able to answer this question. Where's like your ideal
Yeah, it's been
spot
shared
on,
for.
on,
I had to
on
do
the
with
ladder?
something. Honestly, I've been making music since I was in my teens, so I've never really. I like doing gigs and I enjoy them, but that's not the reason I wrote music. Music is one of my outlets, and it's helped me become the person I am and understand things in the world. As I've wrote stuff and all that. So I'm always going to be making music. Whether I'm always going to be playing live in the biggest stadiums or the smallest stadiums, I don't really care as long as I'm having fun doing it. That's the main reason I'm in the band, because it's fun and I get to put some creative energy into it.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a form of self-expression, basically.
Yeah, basically. I know it's a bit of a weird inspiration or maybe unexpected, but in terms of like being an artist rather than a musician standpoint, I've always admired Clown, Sean Cran from
Yeah.
Slipknot. The mentality he has behind it and the energy that he puts into like Slipknot's atmosphere and the stuff he puts into the story of it and all that. it's always hit me surprisingly close to home. I've always wanted to do not just music, but all forms of art. And painting, music, cooking, all that kind of stuff is art in its own form. So yeah, I've just ever since I've kind of followed Slipknot, that mentality's followed behind me as well, and that kind of mentality of music is bled into it as well.
The one thing I love about Sean, like when you're talking about Sean from Slipknot, especially the whole band, is see when you go to see some gigs, it's just the band playing, standing still. What I love about Slipknot is there's no limits. Really, you can they turn up to a gig and set each other on fire, break their legs, fight, you know what I mean? There's no limit. That's
back in like the 2000s, not now. It's not that
I know
bad.
that I would look back 2000 and go, I'd rather beat their small gig than their big gigs nowadays because it just looked phenomenal. It was absolutely brilliant.
Their big gigs are still kick ass.
I've seen them in January and they're fantastic.
Oh, I was there as well.
Were you at that gig? Yeah, I was there as well. Yeah,
that was my gig.
Surprised we didn't see you.
Hey, you were sitting waiting, weren't you? You weren't.
Aye, I was in seating.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in the stand. I was in the middle of it.
Same here, Jamie. Same here.
I missed you. I didn't know. Damn.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, I didn't know. Funny. I know Aiden went, but I didn't know you went. Fuck.
Yeah, I was there, man.
He was there with his family, weren't you? Your mum and dad. And
well, my mum and dad and Alex, and Lachlan and Tegan as well.
I was there by myself. I just made some friends.
My parents were drinking that night, so I had to do all the driving. I was raging. I couldn't have any. It was awesome.
You were 17. No, you were 18.
I was 17 at the time.
So
yeah, I was 20. Yeah, 20. No,
yeah,
wow. I was 20.
Because it was only January of last year, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah, it was January.
Last year.
It was literally a month before everything went to lockdown and everyone's
18th.
gigs got cancelled.
I remember the date so well.
Man, I got 2 gigs last year then. I
got it's cancelled.
And Polyphia the next month. So in February
Polyphia was well good.
That was an amazing night.
I remember. I just remember that guy that appeared on the backflip, and I was pure sitting like, oh, and it was just me laughing.
Remember me and you sitting trying to start hardcore dancing. You and me were like running into the pit first and like doing the fucking, running around like hating everybody up for the fucking.
So basically,
me were like the two in the middle before every cup ran in.
Oh man, that was pure fun. I remember on Processed. It was
me,
you, Lachlan.
Gigs.
No, but remember they said start a mosh pit and you just see everybody lying there, and I just remember Lachlan shoving me into like 9 people.
Yeah.
I was fat.
No. Remember, Aiden. Remember the fucking. Remember when he did Goat, when Polyphia did Goat. You and me agreed that we were going to start a mosh pit for the bass solo. And then we, as soon as the bass solo started, we started pushing each other around, and nobody joined in.
We just looked like these dafties shoving each other.
We actually were. We're just shoving each other a bit. We didn't stop, but we just kept going.
No, we just kept on.
I
gotta give it to like you and Lachlan. I remember when you both shoved me to start the mosh pit on Processed, which was can't remember the name of the song, but I just remember these guys just all bouncing and we were like, right, time to take these.
Yeah, we were going crazy.
We were just taking everybody.
It's funny actually, that was the first night I'd ever listened to Unprocessed. I'd never heard of them before that.
I literally heard them before, like I even knew they were new Polyphia. I didn't even know Polyphia. I never even knew. I never even knew Unprocessed were a thing until I saw them at the gig, and let me tell you, I was impressed,
bewildered. I was like impressed to say the least. Like it was so amazing. Like I can't like get off them now. It's just like a drug. You just keep going back. You need more.
That was the only reason why I went to that gig, because when I heard Unprocessed, because I wasn't a fan of Polyphia at the time. I also became a fan after the gig, but I was like Unprocessed. I remember we arrived up late. Because I think it was Lachlan had to go to the shop or something, And then I just
No, we
remember
went to
people wanting-
McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's, that was it.
No,
And
you know what? We missed the first act it was on, or like
which
a
was
chunk of it.
I can't remember what song
Tides
was that.
of was it Tides of Man or something like that that were
No,
on?
it was Unprocessed Tides of Man, then Plethia. Unprocessed for the first band.
Oh yeah, we missed like a tiny bit of unprocessed.
We missed the
That's
first
right.
song, which was
we
abandoned,
missed
I'm
the
sure.
first-
No, it
I
Fear.
was.
Fear
It wasn't abandoned because I remember abandoned.
Aye,
It's
it
like my
was
favorite
Fear.
one.
It's Fear. It was the song Fear, my favourite one and all. I missed it. Oh. If they
Oh,
come back, I want them to play Fear, and I'll be right up there, pure.
Unprocessed was supposed to be here in June, but it got cancelled.
COVID.
Obviously.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel left out. I feel left out. You guys are all telling all these amazing stories, and I've only been to 2 gigs.
Next time we go to,
Oh my.
just come with us, Dylan. It'll be a laugh.
Every
I
time
see
we
if there's
go
a
to a
gig,
gig,
I'm coming. I don't care
Oh,
who it
yeah.
is. The Leeds boys,
no, that's the
bloody.
good. That's the
whatever,
good thing
I'm
about
going.
us. Aye,
I don't
that's
even-
the good
I don't-
thing about us is the good thing about us is we just remember at Periphery there was like 7 or 8 of us. We
Yeah,
just get
like
groups
literally
and
everyone
just
was there. Like
Aye.
it wasn't just like us that were into Periphery. Like Donald was. Remember Donald, man? He literally like went in a mosh pit and he was in his worky boots.
No,
No,
what,
listen,
Steelies?
right? Yeah, no, not Steelies, but they were worky boots, but they weren't
Yeah,
I
Steelies.
get you.
we'll give
He
it.
was he went up like crowd surfing and that like, as much as I did, but he went into the bathroom and then he came back and the sole was missing off his shoe.
Oh yeah, they had to sellotape it. They
Yeah,
had to sellotape it.
yeah, he literally went to staff, got a big roll of sellotape, and he literally just sellotaped the sole back to his shoe and jumped back in.
A temporary repair, eh? Oh, man.
It's a life hack right there.
That's pure funny, man.
5 minute crafts and that. No, but everyone was there. Like Carmen was there, Farah was there, McKenna was there. Literally everyone was there, man. It was weird.
Jack
seeing, like,
McKenna, Lachlan
all of us
Teagan,
gig.
couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Most of
Everyone.
these names just. Most of these
Yep.
names are just.
Ah, you know Lachlan, Dylan.
I know Lachlan.
Hmm.
I remember getting absolutely wasted. I still haven't paid for those shots, and I get.
Hopefully
got-
nobody. Oh, that's
You're not
good.
supposed
to
That's
say
fine.
that.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
know who's following us. You. I've not paid for shots at the doghouse next minute.
Someone's
I'm on
gonna
the-
be looking for your knees.
Comments like, "Gives our money back."
I'm under wit-
Our
I'm
money.
under wit- I'm under witness protection. Don't worry about it.
You would
Yeah.
be for something completely, absolutely unnecessary.
I witnessed something that and there was someone I ratted out someone who was in a family of very, very powerful people, and they're currently looking
Takeshi.
for me.
I'm
Yeah, she's
Kardashian.
You've been fucking about with the mafia again, Dylan.
16. Again.
No.
Again, he always works for
Now
mafia.
let me tell you,
Good fried rice.
you do not want to be
You're talking to me.
talking about.
You're
Don't want to be
talking to me.
talking about people like that.
You're talking to me. I'm the only one here, so you must be talking to me. I mean, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
I
just
would
like,
mess
here we
with
go.
Jake. He's Italian.
yeah,
you
this
not
is
tell the accent, he's got the accent.
No,
you're
mate,
talking to me.
the real people,
Big
the
and admirable.
Aussies, they'll destroy you.
Talking to me?
Yeah. Is that a spaghetti cannon?
Spaghetti cannon.
Oh Jesus!
Like spaghetti out your brains.
Here's a tune.
Right, go, Jake. Play us off with a lovely song.
Today. No, I'm joking. Don't play Wonder Woman.
Well, sticking on the mafia theme, then let's go.
The sun
Oh my god.
will slow you down. Keys at E flat major. Oh.
I can't hear it because you keep singing.
Can't he sing his wee chord progression?
It's not E flat, it's just E minor.
Oh, E minor. I thought it was an E flat. Your pitch is off a semitone.
And he's been interrupted. What question were we on? By the way, we
Jake,
lost
what
track.
did you do, Jake? What did you do?
Well,
Jake's in trouble.
you do know that schools are still open, right?
Where are they?
And
Yeah.
You being too loud.
No, down this area. The Vale's
Yeah.
shut. The Vale's definitely shut down here.
Online school aid.
But I don't. Does kids actually do that?
They still need to. They still need to follow their techniques.
Dude, they've been doing it for a year. What do you mean if
Yeah,
they stop doing that?
It's not like the way it was. They still have to like follow their full school timetable, like it's an actual day in
okay.
school.
I know they've done
Yeah.
it, but I didn't know they'd done it like that.
That
I thought it was
means
just
early
random.
nights and early morning.
Right.
It's not the same as college where you get like maybe a 20-minute meeting online or something for me. And
Oh,
then you
no,
have to
we
it's
have
start
still-
got
them.
planned. We have got
It's
a.
still 6 hours a day.
I've
Mhm.
got to get up at 9 every morning just for college. I like to be up ready for my thing, but I know what time it is.
Excuse
Thank
me,
you.
you have no idea how difficult it is. Okay,
Thank you,
I
on
need
a
to
Monday,
wake up
it's
at 5
1.
o'clock in the. I need to wake up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon
By
for
the
a
way-
haircut tomorrow.
If you're putting
Eh.
this, if you're going to be like putting
Barbers
this
are
through
not-
any editing, you might want to cut this off. While I'm playing the Godfather theme.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro wants to know your location.
Robert De Niro copyright claims. I repeat.
Robert De Niro wants to know your
yeah.
location.
He just starts playing the first note and it's just copyright.
Robert, you just
That-
like boom.
I actually do believe that is somewhere in the future
Violence.
we are going to get to that point where we're not even going to be able to have a fucking G chord play because fucking it'll be like, I don't know, Taylor Swift will be like, hey, my song has a G chord in it. Get that fucking copyrighted.
Just tell
You
us
know,
You
what
can't
what
G
copyright
chord is.
chords though, unless they
You
change
know,
it.
actually, I can't remember what musician it was, but see, recently, well, relatively recently in the last few years, it might have been like fucking Justin Timberlake or some shit. I can't remember who
I
it
don't
was.
know how it is.
Some musician actually, no, it might have been Bruno Mars actually. It might have been Bruno Mars who tried to actually get copyright on a chord and obviously
Oh, that's-
didn't get it. But
Oh,
No.
God, man.
I think
I've always
ironically
thought
it
it was
was
like
a
that.
How
green chord.
fucking how money hungry can you be? You've had what a song that children have listened to like 100 million times. Like, what more do you
Did you
want?
also
Are you
do
going
you,
to? What are you going to
you
go into court and
remember,
say for that? Like, how are you
you
going to go into court
remember
and say
you
that?
remember the band, not the band, you remember the YouTube channel, the Fine Bros that did like
Oh, they
that?
tried.
Oh,
Yeah, they tried
yeah.
to trademark
Yeah.
They tried to trademark reaction videos.
Yeah, they tried to
Mhm.
trademark like a whole like
What's-
genre.
can't
But they didn't.
Trademark
That they didn't
genres.
even start. That's the thing. They didn't even start it.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
just thought to themselves, like, hey,
Hours now.
Yeah,
They're
I
like,
don't-
yeah,
they're like
pretty much.
they're like Britain in the colonial days.
How
but for
does that?
YouTube.
How does that work though?
Pretty
How do you
much.
copyright a chord? Do you just say, look,
You
the
don't,
G chord?
you lose the lawsuit. That's why.
Like,
Because
Yeah,
it's not
dumb.
possible.
If you're taking away a chord, you're basically taking away a scale as well.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Excuse me, Your Honor. I
Let me
would
just
kind of like
change
to
the
have
thing.
all the rights to
Hmm?
this chord.
Let
If
me
anyone
just
plays
change
If
If
anyone plays it,
chord, but it's like,
theory that's been around since the beginning of human civilization.
Yeah.
aye.
Yeah.
as soon as someone plays that chord, I want all the money that goes towards anything that chord goes. That of any of the
Hmm.
money that chord makes, I get it. What do you mean? Go fuck myself. I want that. I want that money.
Who are you talking to?
Anyway, we're getting distracted. We're getting distracted. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Delivery pizza.
Yeah.
That-
Delivery pizza.
I'm just naming a topic. Let's talk about.
Name what pizza deliveries.
Aye,
This is-
Yeah,
how do
we
you
did-
feel
mate,
that
we did an
Conway
interview. What are you
pizza
talking
deliveries are
about?
doing?
Kind of done
Aye,
with this interview.
that's a good question.
Yeah. I think we're good. I think we're done for today.
Does
True, we're just
pineapple go on
firing
pizza? Does pineapple go on pizza? Find out
Oh,
next
that's a good
If you
episode.
want to,
debate.
go ahead. Go ahead if you want to. Nothing really. No one cares really. If you
Yeah.
go on
Find out
about it, you're a dick.
Just don't
Find
make
out
me-
next episode on Diabolicast. All right. So are we done here, boys?
Podcasts.
Next on Diabolicast.
Well, it is like
Pineapple
10 at
on
night,
pizza.
so I need to go to my beddy buzz.
Wait. To be continued.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Yes.
End
I'm not
this,
saying yes, I'm saying
And-
yes, the song.
About.
end this fucking recording. I want to
Yeah,
kill
why is
myself.
why is this thing still rolling?
Yeah.
End
I
this
actually
recording.
don't know. Wait a minute.
We were
I don't
done
know.
20 minutes.